Well, I'm gonna just tell you, it's pretty slow elk hunt. I come over here just to take some dang pictures. To be honest, I guess I forgot to say good morning. How's everybody in the YouTube world? But it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And I don't know, we were supposed to leave Sunday anyway. Tomorrow's Saturday. But it has just been so slow. We did get on a little bull over close to the cabin this morning, but nothing. He quit bugling. But it is it's frustrating, I tell you what. And of all the years we've been here, it just never has. You know, the elk have always been on the property, off the property, on the property, off the property. But every day or two, you could just count on them at least being somewhere, you know, where you could hunt them. That meadow, even, look, elk in that meadow were tough, but I've killed 6 bulls in that meadow. So it's very doable. But when they're not coming to that meadow, they just ain't nothing easy about it. We did find some elk way down on the south end, but it was so iffy there. Plus that's bad country. Tough on Dad, and then they just were even there. They were off the property. There was some, I was finna say turkeys. There was some elk over on the government, but they were way over on the government, and our tag is not good for the government. So anyway, I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna head home with all this rain coming in the morning. So if I do, the next video you'll see will be us in the truck headed east, headed home. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat going home too, because you know you miss Mom and miss Julie and miss Ainsley and miss Aiden. So you know, but I'm gonna tell you, it's the first time in a long time, probably first time in 10 years plus, Dad and I have not gone home, or that Dad and I have gone home without an elk. So that just means a poor old deer, they're gonna be in trouble because we gotta fill the freezer up. When I mean to tell y'all it rained, let me tell you something. It rained on us from the time we left the cabin, which is about 5 o'clock that morning, 4 o'clock that morning. It did let us get all the way. It takes about 40 minutes to get all the way down the mountain and out the gate. But before we got to the pavement, it was raining. You know, y'all don't ever forget this either. How cool is it that 2 clips ago, I was 1,250 miles from here, at 10,000 feet in the Rocky Mountains. And now you're looking at me. I'm home. Actually, I'm not home. I'm out here on the management area. Saturday. I've shaved, cleaned up a little bit, and I'm not elk hunting anymore, which is kind of sad in itself. But I was going to almost say the whole trip was sad, but it wasn't. We had a good time. But first, we rode in the rain. I don't know. It probably rained on us until, I know it rained. We got down, come through Mora to Las Vegas, way the other side of Las Vegas, into Amarillo. It had quit raining by the time we got to Oklahoma City. But the first 5 or 6 hours of our trip, I mean, it rained hard. And I kind of kept a check on the radar. It rained up at camp dang near all day and even into the night. So I guess it's pretty fitting that I close out our 2024 elk videos right out here where I always start my elk videos, out here on the management areas, doing some walking, a little bit of running. I'm gonna do my best to really keep that up this year. I've lost some weight, you know, with what I do work-wise. We'll get to the elk hunt in a minute. with what I do work-wise, selling equipment with tailors, man, you end up sitting in that truck a bunch. I mean, you see a lot of customers, but you sit in that truck a bunch, and you keep me snacks in there, and you drinking Red Bulls in the afternoon, and Mountain Dews for breakfast, and some water in between, and just kind of yucky living, to be honest. So I've changed that for some time now, and I'm going to continue changing it. But I figured I'd end the video and tell y'all about the trip right here where I always start the videos. The short and sweet version of it is, I mean, Dad and I had a great time. It was our 29th year together. We left, as y'all have seen, went out there, got out there a day and a half or so early, stayed in Angel Fire, kind of introduced Dad to the whole Airbnb, VRBO deal. That was nice. I really enjoyed Angel Fire. I will go back there and stay. I'm gonna take Ainsley and Julie back. I actually heard an elk from right there where we were staying. Not sure what unit that is, but I need to look. I might start putting in for the draw, but the elk would just were not on the property like they have been before. They just were not there. You know, I'm not gonna throw rocks, strike it up to pressure. I mean, let's just be honest. That's about the only thing that there's two things that move elk. One's a rut, two's pressure. And there had been 1, 2, 3, I guess 6 hunters there. Not all of them were actually hunters, but 6 guys there prior to Dad and I getting there. So when we got there, that makes 8. In the years past, only been 2. It was always just me and Dad, and then 2 other guys, or those 2 guys, and then Dad and I. But for whatever reason, the elk just moved off. Elk can't take it. They don't like the pressure. You know, Dad and I are the kind of hunters, and one of the guys, well, actually, the only guy that actually killed a bull, he was in the first group. Me and him have talked about it a bunch. You know, you always walk around out there on eggshells, because that's a real quiet place. And the elk are, I mean, they know when you're there. They know the vehicles are there. They know the buggies are running around. They just know. But we did get on some elk. I was in some of the best shape I've been in on this hunt, but the elk were just so far off the property, over on other landowners that we don't have permission to hunt, over on the public unit, which the tags we buy are not, they're not unit-wide tags, because it's actually 2 different units. And like I said, I found some elk. I could have went to the elk. I did go, well, anyway, it's one thing if you call an elk up the fence, he's on your side, you shoot him, he jumps across and you go get him. But it's another thing when they're miles across it. I mean, Dad and I went out the south end of the property. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, because it don't mean nothing to you. All the way down to the public road. And this place we hunt's little bitty. I mean, let's say it's 4,000 acres. It's not that big. By out west means that's a little bitty piece of property. And let's say there's 2,000 acres of it that's huntable. I'm being generous. You have to be careful with those elk. You have to be careful. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll turn y'all around. I'm walking down this road, There could be a deer come out of this. You see that? That's cut over. You see that? You can see that open sun. There can be a deer come out of here, stand in that road. You can jump a deer right there. He's probably not going to run down to that cutover, and he's going to stop, okay? And by the time you get about out of his eyesight or his hearing, he's back eating greenbrier, okay? That's just how deer are. Deer bed right here, they eat right here. Now, yeah, I know some of you gonna say that deer travel, deer in the rut, I understand that. Well, they've been studies, deer travel 10 miles. We ain't gonna argue about all that. Everybody in this country's feeding corns. That sucker laying right down there. You got your corn pile right here. He gets up, comes, eats it, goes, lays back down for the most part. Elk ain't that way. Like I did the video, elk are where you find them. Elk travel, man. They're nomads. They ain't no home to elk necessarily, okay? I know people talk about the resident herd. There is that. If you're in Estes Park, Colorado, where you got Rocky Mountain National Forest, where there's no hunting that goes on. But let's don't fool ourselves. Elk are where you find them, and if you bump those elk, y'all, I'm telling you, 10 miles to a herd of elk ain't nothing. I mean, where I've hunted there in Silverton, it's 50 miles to Durango, 60 miles. Them elk spend a lot of the summer in Silverton. They spend the winter in Durango, where the elevation's not so bad. Anyway, the elk just wasn't there. And when they're not there, it makes it tough. Dad wasn't in the best of shape. We needed those elk to be close around that meadow. I have killed, in 2011, I killed a bull in that meadow. 2, I'm thinking. The big 6-point. The kind of funky bull. 3, my big 5-point, the Walla, the big 6-pointer to the Walla, the elk I showed y'all on video at the Walla, that's 6. I've killed 6 bulls in that meadow, and however many times we were there, or however long we've been there, I did not see one. I saw some dinks. I saw a couple spikes. 3x3, maybe in the meadow. Did not hear one bull bugle in that meadow, day or night. Back a couple videos ago, I had that 1 5-point that came to the meadow. He actually, if I could have hunted the ground blind that Dad and I fixed years ago, I would have got a shot at that bull, and I would have shot that bull. But they messed my tree all up, putting them cameras up, so you couldn't hunt there. But I'm gonna be honest, he was absolutely terrified of that meadow. You know, it's the rut. Elk are spooky. Deer in the rut, especially a little bull like that, he's had his tail beat and run off and this, that, and other. So anyway, long story short, just didn't get on them. The last afternoon, Dad had a chance at a really good bull, really good 6x6. Actually drew on him, had 3 limbs in the way, couldn't get a shot at him. I had a chance at a little broomed off 5x5. I may take some heat, you know, people be, well, why didn't you shoot him? That just, I mean, I've killed 15 bulls with my bow. That ain't the reason that I go. I know trophy hunters take a hard rap sometimes. I'm a trophy hunter, make no mistake. I'm a trophy fisherman. If you're an outdoorsman and you're a hunter and you say you're not, then you're probably not being honest with yourself. Why would I want to kill a 2.5, 3.5-year-old 5x5 and not kill a cow? I'd rather shoot a cow than I had that little bull. I hadn't done nothing by killing that little bull other than I got some meat. But if that's what I'm after, then let's do it the way everybody, you know, it's funny. There's some elk hunters that, I don't know, for some reason they do elk different than what they do deer. They're big deer hunters at home, and they won't shoot little bucks, won't shoot young bucks, blah, blah, blah. I gotta be 5 years old, this, that, and other. I had never been that kind of hunter. But when it gets to be an elk, they'll shoot a 3x3. I don't know, something about that don't make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, I could have killed a 5x5. I was full drawn, wasn't up between me and him, but air and opportunity at 20 steps would have been a chip shot. Didn't shoot him. In my mind bank right here, he's in the back of the truck, and that's all that matters. Dad was back there. He called him up, so that was a cool experience for him. But if I'm going to go out there, especially at this point, now look, if it's my first 2 or 3, 4, 5 years hunting, different story. The first bull I get a shot at, I'm going to let the air out of him. But at the where I am now, just wasn't a bull that I would have been. I don't know what the word is, but when you walk up to him, you just don't want to be like, what'd I shoot that joker for? You know, again, I'd rather kill a cow. So I had that opportunity, but other than that, y'all, that was it. I don't know that I saw a deer. I didn't see a turkey. That's another thing that lets me know, hey, pressure, encroachment, noise, racket, stuff like that. Those animals spend all year, and when stuff changes just like that, they spend all year nothing. And I mean, you know, the cameras, the guy that kind of takes care of the cameras, I mean, there wasn't even no elk at night. I can take the cameras or leave them. You know, cameras will ruin it. You remember that? Cameras will ruin the way you deer hunt. You'll sit your butt at the house because you think you don't have a good deer on camera, when you ought to just be out there enjoying what the Lord give us. So I'm not big on camera, especially on elk. You can throw them cameras away when it comes to elk, as much as they travel. But did get to hear some bugling, so that was good. And Dad and I had a great time. 29 years, that's the whole reason we go. We did some different stuff that we never have done. Like I said, went out a couple nights early. Had a buddy out there hunting. So we went and saw him and his boys where he was camping. You know, we got some ideas on some different stuff that we might be able to do. Ate some good food, and just really didn't get in no big hurry, you know. Hunted some mornings at daylight, and sometimes didn't leave the house till 8 or 9 o'clock. But I mean, another thing is, I mean, we were there when it was prime. The elk were bugling. I knew the elk were gonna be bugling, but man, some of the elk, I heard it. I mean, you know, barely could hear them. The couple days that I did get in them, I mean, they were in some bad country, y'all. The day that I went kind of up and over a mountain, almost down to the main gate where we come in, bad country, steep. And the day that I did the cooking, I mean, rocky, steep, rough country. I'm gonna tell you, I mean, if I would have killed one, obviously I would have got it out of there, but it would have been tough on Dad. I really don't know if Dad would have been able to get around there to where those elk were and help me get those elk out of there, or help me get my bull out of there. And I'll tell you this, what fun is that? I mean, really, I got to go, I got to be in them when I did just want to, so I got to enjoy being in them there. But if I can't shoot a bull and me and Dad enjoy the skinning of the elk, because we enjoy that together. If me and Dad can't enjoy sitting there drinking that Mountain Dew because of where he was and the country's so tough, I mean, I got to be around them. I got to be in them. And so that was good. Made memories. I got some awesome pictures. I may share to the community some of my pictures. I got some really good pictures. But if not, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. See some pictures on there. You really should be following my dad on Facebook, especially. His devotion he does every morning. Oh, that's another thing. Saw a guy get saved while we were there. Witnessed to some other people. So that was pretty awesome. Like I said, different trip, fun trip. So glad to be home. I've already been to work, back at work a week. So it was good to kind of we got back in. It was good to kind of get back at work. Got up this morning. Hurricane is kind of came and went, sort of. We didn't get a lot. We got a little rain. It's still a little cloudy on this Saturday, but it's gone. And now we're going to focus on some deer. Got Aiden around. We're going to get after the deer with the bow and arrow. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll do some videoing with that. Fall's coming. Gonna build a fire. I'm gonna plan a little trip, another little trip, maybe out west. I'd love to take Julie and them out there Christmas time or something, and us maybe spend a little time out there then, and then kind of just figuring out what we're gonna do, you know, for next year. Don't think Dad's gonna be able to go and make another hard elk hunt. We've talked about maybe doing the Africa thing. Dad went to Alaska one year. I went with him the next, so he's been twice. The fishing in Alaska, unbelievable. You know, we could go make multiple trips like that. Still keep the travel and the years of going together. I mean, I just don't know how interested I am in continuing to hunt an elk without Dad, because I've been with him, and some other reasons. And we're going to talk about those other reasons with the elk. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but in some other videos, I'm going to talk to y'all about what I've seen, what I see, kind of where it's going. Really, none of it's good. But we're gonna be, here's the deer, but we're gonna be positive about it, and we'll talk about that. Maybe the next video you see, I hope, deer season opens days, Saturdays, I think Tuesday. Hadn't really done anything to get ready for deer season. I mean, I go back to the corn thing. Everybody's feeding deer. Nobody's really hunting sign anymore, as far as, well, we don't have a lot of white oak acorns anyway. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I hadn't got to do a whole lot to get ready. I go by the co-op and see old Ryan Bostic and get me a few bags of corn and shoot me a big old nanny goat. And look, I got to get on some deer. I mean, we got to whack them. That's what I told Aiden. A whole elk down, not in the freezer. We got to get on the deer. So hope we can do a lot of that together. So appreciate y'all following the Fanchers. Hope you're not disappointed about not seeing a big old bull laying there, but hey, that's hunting. I spoiled y'all. We spoiled y'all. Me and Dad spoiled y'all these years, but it's fun. I appreciate the love and support and the comments, and thanks for following the Fanchers. There'll be more of it. God bless. Jesus saves. I'm gonna run all the way back to the truck. See y'all.